It was a hard task. I did not make the motion last time. We had some things that we were dealing with, and I was uncomfortable, and I'm very comfortable with where we are at now. It's not perfect, not by a long shot, but it's absolutely necessary that some things occur. Everybody that knows me knows that I've always been in favor of strengthening protection on the street. That was important during this time, but there's so much more in this budget that occurs. But for one example, we are strengthening our sheriff's department on a couple of different levels. One of them is we're creating another person on the street to help back up and protect the other ones that are out there. And I'm hoping that this is, as our discussion with the sheriff's department, as we start to come back together again, that we start looking at this as a 3 to 5 year plan to get them fully staffed to where they can protect each other. But aside from that, this is really heavy on corrections officers, and I want to explain a little bit why. Overall, it's 3 new corrections officers, but I want to remind everybody that sometimes things are necessary. It was 6 months ago, we had a state of emergency in Mason County in our corrections center. Irregardless of how it happens or what occurred that may happen, everybody can have their discussions about management or whatever, it doesn't matter. This is our opportunity to cover that and make sure that it doesn't happen, and it's a necessity. I would love to say that we can save the money, but we can't. We need to do that to make sure we don't enter into that situation and put our deputies and our sheriffs and pull deputies off the street to go into the jail to have to work. None of that made any sense, and that created overtime. All in all, by doing what we've done, we're saving money. I know it doesn't look like it, but we're saving money over the long run on some of these issues. Being able to be open for lunchtime has been a big issue of yours, Commissioner, and a big issue of mine as well. I very much think it's necessary, but because of the cuts that have occurred in the past, we didn't have the staff to be able to do it. And being able to create the staff to allow us to be able to do the jobs they need to was necessary. Luckily for us, we had an auditor who was able to find a way to switch some people around so it comes out of another fund and not affect our bottom line. But if we were going to make it happen, it had to be done. It had to be done now, and the only way to do it was with bodies. Yesterday was a big day. Irregardless of how it looked, and a little bit some tempers for a few minutes here and there. But what occurred yesterday is we were able to reduce our deficit spending in a couple hours by $1.5 million. And I don't care what it is, that's pretty darn good. I'm tickled with that. So that letter from the treasurer, thank you. That gave us an opportunity to do a little better than we had done before. And I'm very happy with where we come out. And Commissioner Sheldon should be happy about this. We're not going to raise the tax this year by the 1%. I don't, whether you vote for it or not, but that's something I know that you've been a champion of for years. All in all, it's not perfect, it's not what I like, but we definitely did what we had to fight, and we accomplished what we needed to accomplish. But as Commissioner Jeffrey says, now we have to look at how we're going to maintain this. It's easy enough to do what we did. It wasn't easy, but it's big enough to do what we did. But we still have to find a way to maintain it in the future. So bear that in mind. Let's come up with ideas. Let's sit as individuals and talk about this and see what we can come up with, because we're going to have to address some pretty important points in the next year.